Ms. Kuzi, you have 6 minutes. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and welcome, Minister, to the Ethics Committee. This is, of course, our second day together in a row. Yesterday, in the Government Operations Committee, I expressed my disappointment in your handling of the public purse $40 billion deficit, the $500 million where that was indicated you would make the commitment to try and find how the majority of those funds are actually from lapsed funds and reserves, not actually new amounts of savings. And of course, the second edition of the managerial guidelines you put out yesterday, since clearly the managerial guidelines of October were not effective in the 6-month period. We didn't even have an opportunity to touch on your role then in the oversight of the privacy of information. There was so much to cover yesterday. Frankly, I shudder at the thought of having to take over your role if necessary because of the incredible amount of work to do. But let's talk about then the PIA compliance today. So when the news broke on the lack of privacy impact assessment compliance across 13 different federal departments and agencies, you stated that each federal institute, as you did today, is responsible for enforcing the laws and the policies. I feel that this ignores the responsibility of the Treasury Board to provide the oversight and to ensure departments are enforcing these policies. After more time for reflection, I was here previously making this point. Would you not agree that it's the responsibility of the President of the Treasury Board to ensure federal departments and agencies are protecting the privacy of your primary constituents, the public service?
The Privacy Commissioner has received no complaints relating to a violation of the Privacy Act. The Privacy Commissioner has engaged in no investigation and has stated that there was no breach of the law. The role of the Treasury Board is to promulgate rules and policies relating to the governing of the public service, and those rules need to be enforced by deputy heads. And that is what is continuing to happen. We play a coordinating role across government to ensure that they have what they need in terms of information relating to government policy.
Right. I believe that the term that the Commissioner used was that it was an insult, that this sentiment was felt. Throughout the testimony that we received from the departments accused of not following the Treasury Board privacy policies, we received many different responses and a number of different responses. Some have stated they have the tools and are using them, but are now completing a privacy impact assessment. Others stated they completed a general PIA and that covered the tool, rather than specifically analyzing the security concerns of this invasive technology. Is it concerning to you that 13 departments using the same tool have completely different definitions of what compliance means when it comes to following the impact on the PIA?
So to be clear, as the designated minister under the Privacy Act, I'm responsible for the administration of the Act, but the deputy heads are responsible for implementing Treasury Board policies. And I am actually currently updating the directive on the privacy impact assessments. I will say that programs and activities require a PIA, not the forensic tools themselves. We have had a number of departments, in fact, a majority of those departments are conducting a PIA. We have reached out to them numerous times, as well as the Privacy Commissioner, and my CIO, Dominic Rochon, can add.
Thank you, Minister. I'll just add that indeed, with regard to the 13 departments in question here, we followed up with all 13 of them. There was a different setup with regard to the programs and activities in question. Most of them actually had PIAs. Then there's a question of whether or not they updated those PIAs at different moments in time when it was apparent that they took on new tools. And so we're getting that information, and I think out of the 13, 3 departments, for example, CRA, had a PIA for their activities, for their program, and had also flagged that they would be using forensic tools, so that was fully compliant. In other instances, the PIAs, there was a decision made that it did not require an update, There are a couple of departments there, Competition Bureau, CRTC, for example. And then in other cases, departments have said, out of an abundance of caution, we're going to actually update our PIA.
Thank you, Mr. Rochon, for that. Madam President, you say you're responsible for the administration of this, but not for. I just don't understand how this doesn't imply that you have complete responsibility and oversight as to ensuring. How can one have responsibility for the administration yet not have the responsibility to ensure that the proper documentation is completed for the protection of Canadians and their privacy? I'll try and get another question in briefly, Chair. I know my time is coming to an end. We've heard in this committee that mobile forensic devices, the forensic tools being used by numerous federal departments, are not necessarily spyware, but have the same capabilities and are provided by the same suppliers. Do you agree, Minister, that this technology is invasive and violates the privacy of public servants and Canadians it is used on?
Going to need a quick response.
There was no violation of the Privacy Act, and the Privacy Commissioner did not launch an investigation and receive no complaints. There was no violation of the Privacy Act.
Okay, thank you, Minister.